It's a unique program of SP Jain Institute and has reached over more than 1,000 business families in the country. He is the chairperson of the Center for Family Managed Business at the Institute. He has given various conferences on issues of family managed business. He has interacted with a number of families and has good insight on family business issues, particularly in Indian context. He also teaches general management at the Institute. Please welcome Professor Parimal Merchant.
Don't worry. Promise. You give your names to Firozbhai, you'll get the gift. While folding forms, this is the difficult one. While folding forms, the final fold should always be made dash. This will ensure that the larger parts of the fibers in the base paper are not overstretched. A, perpendicular to the grain, B, across the grain, C, parallel to the grain, or D, zigzag to the grain. Stand up and answer. Yeah, you're right. Parallel to the grain. Firozbhai, are you there? Sorry, then this question is gone. I'll think of one more when the time is done. There was a press which oldest Gandhiji founded which press in Ahmedabad? Manoj Bhai should get this answer. Gandhiji founded which press in Ahmedabad? He stood up. Navjeevan Press, that's right. Thank you. No problem. Great. Dr. Parimal Merchant.
Outstanding and very well conducted, very grilling question and very well ducked in terms of answering. I am working with business people and we have students coming from all over the country, and maybe I can say that the people that which we come across maybe are not from printing industry, so for them the life is a little different. It is tough. Age from 23 to 28 is the most painful period in any youth person's life today, and at the same time it is also extremely painful in the family. This is what is a general thing that we come across the thing around. It is like this when we go for consulting. In the first meeting we have with the client, they explain us how great things we are doing and everything is perfectly alright and we have ERP in place and everything is computerized. As a consultant, either if you are very new, you will get nervous that what will happen in this, but since seasoned people like us, we know that everything is fine going on, because in the second meeting, they are going to say that there are some problems here and there. We have ERP in place, but it is not giving information in time. We have all the people are there, but they are not accountable and things are not going fine. And in the third meeting, when they open up and they start telling us that everything is in a mess, ERP has created a serious problem for us, things are not working very fine. As far as family issues are concerned, it's more or less similar. First time when we talk, we all have to talk about smilingly how nice things are happening all across. Second time when we talk about, then we'll say there are little problems here and there. And third time we talk about, then we really realize that Indian families, left, right and center, on one side are at the outburst of a greatest business opportunity ever have we had, and at the other time, the side, they're stuck with family issues and family challenges. At SP Jain, we have 3 submissions to make. Post year 2000, there has been explosion of opportunities, and anyone who has been in business prior to 2000 need to really reprogram their mind to really understand that what is the kind of world that is going on. Second submission, This explosion is why global, the real benefit will be to Indian companies. What Indian companies can do, companies from other places cannot really take that advantage. And third, within Indian companies, it is the family businesses which can really take the advantage. What Sunil Mittal can do, Hindustan Unilever can never do. What KP Singh and DLF can do, Larsen & Toubro can never do. There has been a lot of talk about professionalization and that family businesses are taking a favor from the family and all. In my opinion, it is exactly the other way around. It is not that the professional person will take business interest as the first. It is the family person who will take business interest as the first. The real criteria is not when going is good. The real criteria is when the going is bad. When the going is bad, it is the family people who will not only not take money, they will mortgage their house to put money in the company, so to make sure that the company is run. In my opinion, family business is one of the finest pure form of business, and it has tremendous amount of strength. Many times people from abroad, they call us up and say that, in this university and that university there was a discussion on succession planning, and they have worked out some good mechanism of succession planning, and why in India people are not following that? I have to really tell them that it is, in fact, you should come and see that despite not following your pattern of succession planning, still why in Indian businesses, companies are progressing and prospering phenomenally. There is a standard quote in any family business meeting that you will come across. Only 25% business go to second generation, and from that only 14% go to third generation, and from them only 4% go to fourth generation. And that is why we all have to wake up and realize that managing family issues is a very important thing. Now let's look at the thing. 75% of the business is closed down at the first generation only. We don't want to worry about it. Now that whatever is left, only 25 to 13 goes, so 17% of the remaining left closes down at second generation. We don't want to talk anything about it. It is only when 10% close down from third generation that it is made a very big debate that third generation is useless and they don't know about things and they have not seen how hard work is being done, and the kind of discussion that goes all across. I would really want to make some points, particularly with the father part discussion that is going on, that it is better to admit and understand what is changing rather than to sweep the issues under the carpet. There is something, a concept called formation landscape. When I was being formed, 1960s, 1970s, the world was a particular kind, and whether I want or I don't want, it has left tremendous influence on me. I have brought up into a paradigm when we were told that slow and steady wins the race. I have been brought up in the paradigm when we have been taught jetli chadar hoye etla pag philawaya. I have been brought up into a paradigm where we say, I am living in Bombay, I have set up a factory in Vapi, every day morning 6 o'clock I will take Gujarat Express, go to Vapi, do some puja, start sitting and start shooting. Give me order one by one problem, I will solve all the problem. Late night I will come home, I will have very little connection with the family. Over the last 20 years of my labor, I have built up this business. This is another paradigm, and we are looking at totally different paradigm post 2000. It is not my labor which makes a business today. We can discuss with more time permission that how the business models have changed tremendously. Slow and steady is no more an issue. Fast and focused is the real issue today. Look at the different model things are taking place. It's not that jetli mari chadar hoye etla mara pag philawai, is exactly other way around. Jetla pag philao so etli moti chadar thati jase is the kind of dynamics that is taking place today. We are really at a crossroads where both the generations are into a totally different, partly understanding I would say, and partly ego trip I would say. The senior generation wants to believe that whatever they did was greatest, and the sons and daughters should also go with the same thing. The younger people start believing that just because we are young, we seem to be knowing everything in the world. It's not true either of that place. What we really need is a complementation where both of them have to agree and admit first that the other side is likely to have a different view, and we must create an environment where dissent can surface, where disagreement should come up, where there should be heated argument, and heated argument has nothing wrong. It's a really very constructive thing. Old generations, old generation I call myself also because I am grown up in 60s, to believe some of the things today is impossible. I'll just give you some small examples just to give an idea that how things have worked out. One of our students from one kind of business, family of 6, very busy into the business of 5 crore, the son is to start some other business. This small business reaches a turnover of 7 crore. We need to take loan. Bank wants personal guarantee. Uncle says, I will not give personal guarantee for your business. Son says, no problem. He works out something. There is some investor who is ready to invest 50 crore in his business. His turnover is 7 crore. When my turnover is 7 crore, somebody wanting to invest 50 crore in my business, as an old generation person, to me it is unthinkable and unbelievable. The same happened with his father. He will come and tell me that what all you are teaching to the students, they come and start doing some all kind of fantasies. Tell them to stop all this and start doing some real work. Unfortunately for him, or fortunately for him, whichever way you call, the discussion went further and we had to sign the final agreement. The lawyer has to be paid fees of 5 lakh of rupees, and now this is the time the father calls me up desperately. Look, this time my 5 lakhs are also going to waste. It is only when 50 crore were deposited in bank account that he told me that I must admit that the business which I did and the business what is happening today is different. A company with a 10 crore invest, 10 crore turnover, why will anybody ever invest 50 crore in this company? But these dynamics are taking place. We are doing business here, and one of our students discussed, why can't you acquire? We had one German businessman and talking about German business economy and all, and one of the girl students told us, if this is the case, post Second World War, Germany was in a massive industrialization thing. Today, more than 1 million businesses are changing the hands. These are all the statistics that person shared. So one of the girl students said, does it mean that tremendous opportunity for Indians to acquire companies in Germany? And that guy other said, in a way, yes. Now, since after that discussion, 5 of our students have talked about acquiring a company abroad, and they have gone ahead about acquiring a company abroad. Think about my generation. Forget about acquiring company abroad. Doing business with a company abroad was considered as a big privilege for us. Versus today, thinking in terms of acquiring those companies there is a kind of thing that has taken place. The world is moving at such a super, I will say super in the sense of business dynamics that we had never thought of is taking place. Now that you want to acquire a company abroad, how much money you need? And you don't go by saying how much money you need. You work it out financial structure that in which without a penny in pocket you can go about acquiring the company. Bharat Forge acquires company Danas in UK without paying a penny. Videocon acquires Thomson from USA, Electrolux from USA without paying a penny. Now the idea is, if these changes are taking place, how long can we go on holding that conventional wisdom of slow and steady will win the race? It's not so. So at our point what we realize is that to grow is less risky than not growing. And to grow fast is less risky than to grow slow. Today we don't have so much of time in terms of going from the grassroots and spend 5 years to come to doing the things. We are living in a time that 1 decade is a great thing to happen. 1995, mobile, who will buy at 16 rupees an hour? 2005, a person without mobile has to start getting inferiority complex. 1995, Sunil Mittal gets virtually out of business because he was doing the business of imported diesel generating set, and that generating set was banned by the government. 2005, Sunil Mittal is among the richest person in the country. You look at the paradigm that has taken place 1990s to 2005, it has accelerated tremendously. In this particular pace, either different views of family member can be used as a biggest strength that we ever have, provided you manage it better. Let me tell you very well that there is no way it can be managed automatically. It is not the thing that you assume that you will come into the business, and I'm really very feeling awkward that still I also use the word he will come into the business, because this is one of the biggest paradigm that we all need to realize, that it is not only sons, it is the daughters who are equally going to be entitled to really understand the business learning and start playing very active role into the business scenario, which again majority of the business people do not even consider into their horizon. When there is only one daughter in the family, the treatment of daughter is very different in terms of business discussion or whatever it is. When there is a son and daughter in the family, the business attitude starts changing. When there is a daughter, when there is a son, they may be thinking about how will he get involved into the business. When there is a daughter, they may be thinking about how she may be allowed to come to the office for the whole thing. Now these are some of the biggest challenges that we believe family businesses are facing, and we have not yet realized the magnitude of it or the significance of it. If there is a public conference on how to do business with China, the attendance will be 300. If there is a public conference about understanding how to manage the dynamics of induction of the child, everybody believes that this does not apply to me, and maybe there will be 10 or 15 people coming into it. In our opinion, we need to apply tremendous amount of energy in terms of thinking how are we going to leverage on family dynamics. I'll give you an example. Some of the questions that were being asked and answered, I was really feeling very comfortable that I was not on the panel to answer the question. Has there been a real conflict? Unfortunately, you will not appreciate if I tell you that there was a real conflict. Is there a person here in the audience who never had any conflict with anyone? Is there a person here in the audience who would say that I had never had any conflict with my wife or my husband or my son or my father? It is supposed to be shameful in the society to admit conflict. But for what? Conflict is a part of life. You look at marriages. Somehow people celebrate marriages. For what? Every person who is getting married knows that what happens to people who are married. But the person thinks, it is like what Yudhishthir answered the Yaksha, that these all people mismanage the situation. I will manage it so well that it will not be a problem in my case. People do preparation for marriage. I have a tremendous advantage that we interact with all kinds of students. One girl tells me she's getting married after 3 months. What preparations? Which hall, which dress, who is to be invited, which menu? 10 things that she said. My one question was, do you do mental preparation that post-marriage, how your life is going to be affected and how everyone else in the family's life is going to be affected? Do we discuss about it or do you do preparation about it? She looks at me as if I am talking some Greek and Latin. Who does all this thing and for what are we supposed to do it? 3 months down the line she is married, and then after she comes and tells me, every time it happens, I remember your suggestion. What happens? At my home I can get up at any time. Here it is, I am expected to get up at some time. At my home, and let's see what kind of dilemmas happen, and I am telling you that this is happening in marriage. Take my word, it happens in father and son, and I don't know whether it happens in printing industry or not, because as you said, you can always say in terms of others what happens to others. The girl in her maternal house, there is a vegetable called tinoda. They cut the vegetable horizontally. She has come here. They cut the vegetable vertically. What's big deal? It's a simple thing. When the vegetable cutting is going on, the mother-in-law looks at the way the daughter-in-law does. Nobody speaks anything. But she has some feeling in her mind that she doesn't know even how to cut vegetable. When the mother-in-law cuts the vegetable, the daughter-in-law looks at it, doesn't say anything. But which way are they cutting the vegetable? Now what will happen? We all are nice people, we all have to be good, so nobody will say anything. We don't realize that this is one accumulation of a point which will go on simmering, and at one day, on one small issue, there was a big flaring up. And some stupid person will, like me, will ask what happened, and while try to solve the problem at that time, when you had to know that really the simmering took place over such a long period of time, and whatever was the small incidents at that time was immaterial. Now let's look at really little in detail what has happened. Two individuals brought up into two different ways. Now they are coming into relationship with only one agenda. They will change the other person for better. Will it not happen the same with father and son? Son largely, I'll tell you, suffer from tremendous. I'm working with, I could say, more than 1,000 people of this age group, and I'm in that sense quite authentic. Between 23 and 28, majority of the sons suffers from tremendous amount of inferiority complex because they see the kind of thing that their father is handling and they believe they can't handle. So what they do, they go overboard in terms of showing as if they are overconfident. This is the problem of the sons or daughters. Majority of the time the father and son, the elder generation, they believe that the next generation is useless. What is the time they get up? From there onwards it starts. Now that if they have to come, we have to tolerate. So the relationship is of toleration, and I'll tell you a good number of times when father comes in, the son goes out, and when the son comes in, the father goes out, the relation is apparently cordial. Now in the process what will happen? We have a capacity of acquire a company somewhere else. When can we discuss? If the son proposes the idea, father looks straight away with prejudiced mind. ₹1 to kama ke dikhao. And father proposes something, the son thinks that our time, our generation is different, the world has changed, you are still talking about old ideas. Very soon, our relationship becomes highly prejudiced relationship where really the constructive dialogue comes down substantially. Now we teach our students a little differently. We say, learn to touch the feet of people who have made money. And you have to sit on their shoulders and not in their shadows. So we have to have both. Learn to appreciate the perspective of the other person, and at the same time don't give up your personality and don't give up your identity. You need to appreciate and you need to really contribute. Now there is where one little problem comes with this senior generation. Most of the people who have made money, they have made money very hardworking, and they didn't have time to do what I am doing, that is to go to teach and to talk. They are very poor expressor. So in my one class, one student is bringing an issue. In my company, there is one person who is the highest paid person. For their company, they were paying 50,000 rupees to this person, and it was the highest paid person. This guy contributes nothing. Rather, he is a nuisance value. So the son goes to the father and says, this guy is creating a nuisance value, why don't we remove him? The father replies what? तू उसके पीछे क्यों पड़ा है? तुझे पता है ना वो मार्केट में काम कर, continue working on it. Now the same person, same father, I happen to meet some other time, and I need a little talk to her. So we were discussing, in our family managed business, what is our key? Our key is the key knowledge. Key knowledge about some customer, key knowledge about some product, key knowledge about how we handle things, key knowledge about something, and some of our people know it very well. In case these people go, along with that our knowledge goes and our competitive advantage is lost. He says, Professor, you are telling exactly the thing. So you know what I have done? One of my oldest employee, he is not doing anything, still I am paying him 50,000 rupees and retaining, because I know the day I leave him, the competitor will pick him up and all my advantages will go. Business person does, there is a rationale. Only thing is, don't expect them to express, because so far in their life, nobody has asked them question. This is the first time that they are being asked question that why are we doing this? Many of the things they are doing intuitively, and I will tell you, family business people's intuition is far, far, far superior than process management running of professions. Because apparently there is no process, but internally there are tremendous amount of consideration that goes on while before arriving at the decision. There is a tremendous amount of involvement and owning up that is there for arriving at the decision. Only the thing is, we cannot win the young people in argument. So why are you doing it? I may not be able to convince you, but I have a feeling that we have to do like this. So this is what is one particular pattern. Elder people have tremendous wisdom, tremendous strength. They may not be able to express. Our learning for young people is how do we extract the wisdom from the seniors. Younger people, they have tremendous energy. They see around outside and they get tremendous enthusiasm and they get tremendous fire in the belly and they want to run. They are lazy today only because they really don't know where they are heading. All the parents who tell that their son or daughter are lazy, I do tell them to see the movie called Laksh. In Laksh, Hrithik Roshan had no goal in life. Until he didn't have any goal in life, he was just a happy-go-lucky guy. The day he gets goal in life, this person is transformed. Working 18 hours a day is not very, very unusual for second generation or third generation young people in family business. The point is, good or bad, our family is our family. Whether right or wrong, our family business is our family's business, and it is in the interest of the business that our family members own up substantial responsibility, and it is the responsibility of everyone in the family to start grooming from day one to grasp, excel and reach great height in our family business. Lakshmi Mittal, when inquired, when asked by Simi Grewal, will your son follow your steps? He says that I don't know whether he will follow my steps or not, but one thing that I am sure that I will follow his steps. Shishir Bajaj and Kushagra Bajaj. Shishir Bajaj says, I am into the sugar for last 35 years, but I could not have taken a step, which Kushagra says that when it was a recession, Kushagra comes up with a proposal of setting up 7,000 tons per day plant, largest plant in the country. Then why did you allow? I could see the dynamics with which he was working and the kind of homework that he did. I was sure that he was going to succeed. This mutual reinforcement is going to be absolutely important in whatever we are going to do. In my opinion, we need to promote tremendous interaction among father and son. Accept openly that I see it differently, you see it differently, it is perfectly alright to see things differently. It is not necessary that we have to see things in a straightforward way. And we have to think in terms of very big growth. Now my last one point, though it is your conference is Pa and Son, I would tell there are 4 reasons why daughters and daughter-in-laws are far more important. 1. When the families were joined, there were 6 brothers running the business, 1 brother anything happening, nothing happens to the family. When it is a nuclear family, husband, wife and they are running business, if something happens to husband, if wife does not know things about the business, the family could get ruined. All the creditors will ask money, all the debtors will not show the face, all the agreements which were against us will be enforced, all the agreements which were in favor of us, we will not know. Nuclear family, getting women of the family involved in business is of paramount importance. Point number 2. Other than your family women, it seems that all over the world, it has been accepted that some of the women are capable of doing tremendous amount of professional job. You call it ICICI chairperson, or you call it HSBC chairperson, or you call it UBC chairperson, or you call it PepsiCo chairperson. It is not that all these companies are keeping this women at this position for ornamental purpose. Obviously, they are contributing. The third thing is that today the business has changed tremendously. It is a time neutral, it is a location neutral, and one can do from anything at any moment of time. And the fourth thing, if at all any person is qualified, then this person is going to have a view. Now, if you don't channelize it constructively into the business, it can become counterproductive. So it is extremely important to give a very, very serious thought, not only about daughters, and let me tell you, I am repeating this again. When a son is going to get married, how is the daughter-in-law going to be related with the business or not is worthwhile giving a very, very serious thought. I will pause here, and in case there is any questions, I will.
Thank you, Professor. I think it was extremely enlightening. One thing which we are realizing with the Print Summit today is that somehow some of these fantastic speakers have not been given enough time. And well, it's just that we wanted to fit in a lot of gyan, and we are missing out on something really great. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we have time for about 2 questions. So if there are any questions, you can feel free to ask. And after these 2 questions are over, if there are any more, you can please send it to us at www.bmpa.org, and we will forward it to Professor and get your answers.
I have a question. I hope you have a little knowledge of printing industry. Like, the industry is service industry, and very few second generation joining, successfully taking it forward. Like this is a few examples of what you have seen today. But you see 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, big printing presses just gone for no reason, which can scientifically analyzed. Now this is a absolutely family owned, professionally run or not run, which we don't know. Do you envisage this kind of situation happening for service industry in current scenario?
And the second question is what? Yeah.
Use this.
You speak, I will become your loudspeaker.
When children they join their father's business, they see how hardworking their fathers are and they try to get overconfident. Can you elaborate on that point? Because you said about that point and you just shifted to another point. So.
Fair enough. And now these 2 questions, how many minutes? 5? Okay. First question, let me tell you, we have a big advantage as a consultant that we are outsiders and we can raise stupid questions and also sometimes stupid suggestions. In my opinion, somewhere I get a tone about your industry that you are a little paranoid about your industry. Service industry is rather one of the greatest industry in today's time. Printing industry has a brilliant future ahead of us. And if the second generation is not joining, it is only because they have not really understood what the industry is about. Printing industry has a great future. Now about if you say that big family businesses have collapsed, you should know that big Fortune 500 companies have also collapsed. Companies collapse not because there is a business, a family business or not. Companies collapse because of their wrong strategies. And general management that is applying the appropriate strategy, in my opinion, Indian printing business people have the whole world to do the servicing. Why are you saying that you will open only in Daman and cater to the people there? Why can't we open a printing in London, and why can't we do it in Sydney, and why can't we do it in China? And you may or may not believe, because you are earlier generation and for you global thinking is out. Believe it, next 5 years and you will have hundreds of people operating in businesses all over the world. With this change that has happened, for us who are ready to roll up our sleeves, who work for every penny, there is very few communities in the world as hardworking as Indian family businesses are. That's one. Now about your question about the young people getting inferiority complex and they see the things. My feeling is very clear. It takes 5 years and it is a painful years generally all over. After by 5 years, the younger person accepts more of the senior person and the senior person also accepts more of the younger person, and then onwards it is little smooth sailing. I am telling about in general. But if we had a say, we would suggest that there should be a very, very highly proactive induction process. Every one of you should know how Aditya Birla worked on inducting Kumar Mangalam Birla into the business. It's worthwhile understanding. When one guy, I don't name, a 13-year-old daughter and 11-year-old son, 4 of the family members are going for vacation, and the father is asking the daughter and the son, you are going to make the budget, and whatever is the budget, we will live by the budget. We will not take any extra penny over your budget, and if we run out of the budget, we all will face the consequences. 13-year-old daughter and 11-year-old son now are managing the budget. Father wants to buy pizza. He asks the daughter, can I have money for pizza? Daughter says it's not in budget and it's not in budget. This 13-year-old daughter somehow is intentionally being inducted into the business. If you are in printing industry, do not think that yours is a very, very special industry. We are doing consulting, and whenever we go for consulting, one of the questions that people ask us, in which all the companies you have done consulting? And then I will tell about things. In printing, have you done anything? Oh, our industry is very unique. And whatever you have done somewhere else doesn't apply to our industry. Let me tell you, having worked with 40 different industries in consulting, incidentally I also know good about printing. There is nothing so special about your industry. Your industry also earns value for money. Your industry has to cater to the customer. Your industry has to get the work done from people. Your industry has to optimize your operation efficiency. Your industry has to be very, very clear about what differentiation you are doing from others. Your industry has to think about what value creation you are doing. Last year I was having 20% margin. This year I am having 2% margin. Next year I am going to have 0.2% margin. But that 0.2% is going to be higher than what this 20% was. And this is what is the whole way of doing business. You can't say that once upon a time in printing industry we had 30% margin and now it is only 3%, so industry is bad. At 3%, the industry profits are 10 to 50 times more than what it was at 30%. And this is the accepting the dynamics, accepting the insight of management. Printing industry is nothing. I will tell with the last statement, which we discussed with our management student. You can make money in the business of coal also, and you can lose money in the business of diamond also. Mr. Ramesh Agarwal, Dainik Bhaskar chairman, talks about one thing. This is 1995, we were leader in MP. 2005, we are leader in the country. And we have a vision, we want to be leader in the world. What is the secret of your success? इस दुनिया में 25% लोग ऐसे होते हैं जो चाहे कुछ भी हो हर साल पैसा कमाते हैं, और इस दुनिया में 25% लोग ऐसे होते हैं चाहे सोने की बरसात होती हो फिर भी वो लॉस करते हैं. And this is true for all the people, that your way of doing business and management is what makes the difference. Airline industry all over the world have been losing money. Southwest Airline will keep making money. Airline industry in India all losing money. Parimal Airline, which is a small airline in Chennai, makes money. So it is your management and you cannot just blame it on the industry. Thank you very much.
You can blame my soft corner for a professor who speaks completely without any prepared or made slides. So I think I'll allow one more question. If there's any interesting question that someone has. Does anybody else have a question?
You talked about the daughter-in-law factor.
Yeah.
You know, how does the dynamics work with the daughter-in-law coming in, where she is working with the husband is there, the father-in-law is there. And how does this whole is this
We don't know.
actually working?
I don't know. And I'll tell you, some people have tried it half-heartedly and burnt their fingers, and they have learned the moral of the story is that this is dangerous. But it is their half-hearted effort that is to be blamed and not the concept. You really need to put your mind together. What will be the induction process? And just because she is a daughter-in-law doesn't mean that she has started giving opinion on all the strategic matters. What will be the whole induction thing, give and take, all the things need to be thought through. The biggest problem in any relation, family business is banked on relation, and we have paid no attention to relation building, is that lack of paying attention that building relation also requires energy. Your wealth is not how much money you have in bank. Your wealth is how capable our family members are. If we have a big capable family members, we can take on any challenge. The quote I will tell you about Lakshmi Nivas Mittal. He was asked a question. In your success, what is the role your wife has played? And he was telling this one statement. When he was doing his first acquisition about Trinidad, he was a little upset and strolling inside the house. His wife Usha asked him a question, what is the matter? He says that I am talking about doing this is the first time in my life. I don't know whether I am taking the right decision or not. The wife makes this statement. You do generally good homework before coming to a conclusion. If you have taken a decision, you should go on. Whatever happens, we will face it together. That one assurance from the family makes the person half better one. And this person can take on the world at another level. Today, most businesses are facing different problems. On the office, we are at the top and we are showing we can solve all the problems. At home, we show we can solve all the problems. Now, if we have a problem, with whom do we talk? On the other hand, if the women of the family are absolutely involved in terms of the strategic thing being done, it gives us tremendous cohesion. And you can think in your industry or wherever husband and wife were both involved in running the company from beginning, this company has tremendous strength, then only one of them running and trying to keep a face with the other one. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.
I have one small thing to submit if you allow. Here. On the back.
Yeah?
Yeah, alright.
Yeah. Sir, I'm not going to ask you any question, but I've been listening to various printers about their second generation and the seniors who are worried about whether their kids will join or not. And what you have rightly pointed out, that we don't talk enough to our kids about what important this business is. I remember my father was a commercial photographer, and for the entire year of my 12th, he kept on convincing me, he took me to some of the presses to tell me that the printing industry has a great future ahead, and this was about 25 years back. And he convinced me for 1 year to say that whether the recession come or not, the requirement for printing will remain. At that time there was no packaging, it was only book printing and general printing. And it may not have a glamour, this industry may not have the glamour as software or a film industry or anything, but it has a consistency. And once you get into a passion of printing, I think there is no, I have not seen many people coming from different industry, electronics and all, and mechanical, but very few leave this industry back to their own original industry.
Again, I told you, I'm telling you a little bit, you are a little paranoid, so you are thinking about the problem as if this is yours. The same St. James College, nobody wants to join an engineering industry also, nobody wants to join chemical industry also, nobody wants to join pharma industry also, nobody wants to work at work floor, shop floor, anywhere. It is only IT is there in the glamour, but still industries all over the world are running and are going to run very well. I'll just tell you one thing, when we are family business, let's understand very well. We need one bucket of water. Don't worry too much about measuring the ocean. Whether there is a high tide or a low tide, our one bucket of water should not be a problem anytime. So for us, we need tremendous enthusiasm and excitement. बेटा हमने जो किया तुमको तो 10 साल करना है. That guy is taking little risk. इतना risk क्या ले तो ज़्यादा risk लो ना. हम लोग बैठे ना क्या गलत हो सकता है. This kind of excitement, enthusiasm among the industry, among the people is what is the flair. Nobody joins family business for remuneration. In fact, in my opinion, that was a wrong question, because to be a part of the family name itself is the biggest pride. I do for it because I am doing for my family. I studied in a school, Sallah Surgeon, where there was a symbol of the school is that one boy is taking a smaller boy on his shoulder. And somebody is asking him that, why are you taking this load? And that guy says, this is not load, this is my brother. Family business people are not doing any accounting when we are doing it. We are doing it only for one purpose. Our family name has come up to us. We have to take it many more fold and take it forward. That is a single mission. Owning to families, belonging to families, loyalty to the family value is what is our chance.
Thank you. Dave, could you please come on the stage and felicitate Prof. Parimal?